Yeah. Again, just a call for our delegates to be seated. We anticipate the arrival of the Prime Minister of Grenada and the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. So again, just a call for all our delegates to be seated. Thanks again in advance. So what you'll do, you just give me a thumbs up. How much anybody get? So again, just a call for our delegates to be seated. We will begin momentarily. Again, a sincere thank you in advance. CANTO 2025, I ask for you to rise if you can as we welcome the Prime Minister of Grenada, the Honorable Dickon Mitchell. We also welcome this evening the Honorable Philip Davis, Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. The Prime Minister is accompanied by CANTO's Chairman, Dr. Rio Newman. At this moment, ladies and gentlemen, I ask that we remain standing for the national anthem being sung this evening by Tamika Taylor.
Bahamaland, march on to glory, your bright banners waving high. See how the world marks the manner of your bearing, pledge to excel through love and unity, pressing onward, march together to a common loftier goal, steady sunward, though the weather hide the wide and treacherous shore. Up your head to the rising sun, Bahamaland, till the road you've trod lead unto your God. March on, Bahamaland.
Thank you so much, Tamika. We ask that we remain standing as we embrace a word of prayer, and indeed we call on Mark Reynolds to lead us in that regard. So again, a word of prayer.
Heavenly Father, we bless the country of the Bahamas that is celebrating its 52nd anniversary and its gracious hosting of this event. We bless the Grand Hyatt, Bahamar, the team, the Secretariat, all of the dignitaries and personnel that are here. We ask that there be grace, there be gratitude, and there be an air of unity towards a common goal. In your name we pray, amen.
You may be seated, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, thank you, Mark and Tamika. Honorable Philip Davis, Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, the Honorable Dickon Mitchell, Prime Minister of Grenada, Spice Island, Honorable Melford Nicholas, Minister of Information, Broadcasting, Telecommunications and Information Technology, Government of Antigua and Barbuda, the Honorable Diallo Rebane, Minister for the Cabinet Office and Digital Innovation, Government of Bermuda, the Honorable Charles Cooper, Minister of Traffic, Transport and Urban Planning, Government of Curaçao, the Honorable Shakira Lockhart Hippolyte, Minister of Public Works and Digital Economy, WRF, Public Utilities, Telecommunications and Broadcasting, Government of Dominica, the Honorable Grisha Hellinger-Martin, Minister of Tourism, Economic Affairs, Transport and Telecommunications, Government of St. Martin, Honorable Veronica Dorset-Hector, Deputy Premier of Montserrat and Minister of Buildings, Infrastructure, Utilities, Labor and Transport, Government of Montserrat. Honorable Conris Maynard, Minister of Public Infrastructure, Energy and Utilities, Domestic Transport Information, Communication and Technology and Posts, Government of St. Kitts and Nevis. The Honorable Rolston Anglin, Minister for Finance and Economic Development and Minister for Education and Training, the Government of the Cayman Islands. The Honorable Otis Morris, Minister of Home Affairs, Transportation, Broadcasting, Energy and Utilities and Telecommunications, Commission, the Government of Turks and Caicos. Senator the Honorable Dominic Smith, Minister of Public Administration and Artificial Intelligence, Government of Trinidad and Tobago. His Excellency Leon Williams, the Bahamas Ambassador to the International Telecommunications Union, ITU, and other members of the Diplomatic Corps. Dr. Rio Newman, Chairman of CANTO. Mr. Charles Douglas, Vice Chair of CANTO, Board of Directors of CANTO. Mrs. Theresa Wankin, Secretary General of CANTO. Inha Smidts, Chief Executive Officer, Liberty Caribbean, CANTO, and 2025 headline sponsor. John Winter, Senior Vice President and Chief Legal Officer, Liberty Latin America. Amir Hussain, Chief Technology and Product Officer and Senior Vice President, Liberty Latin America. Board of Directors of BTC, Samir Bhatti, Chief Executive Officer, BTC. Neda Brown, Senior Director, Government and Regulatory Affairs. Ms. Doreen Bogdan-Martin, Secretary General, ITU Switzerland. Mr. Brendan Carr, Chairman FCC. Ms. Kimberly Furnish, Chief of Mission of U.S. Embassy, Nassau, Bahamas. Senior government officials of the Bahamas Tourism, Ministry of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and other government ministries, members of the board and senior executives of Platinum sponsor, Huawei, our gold sponsor, Bankai Group, Cable, Bahamas, Aliv, Brava, One Communications, Clear Sky Technologies, Digicel and Digicel Business, and bronze sponsor, TSTT B-Mobile. CANTO members, specially invited guests, delegates, members of the media. Let me catch my breath here, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. Woo, yes. Whoa. Woo. CANTO, if ever there was a protocol list, that is indeed a protocol list. Welcome one and all. It is a treasure and pleasure to be in your company. My name is Jason Williams from the Twin Island, Trinidad and Tobago. And I know that Forte is indeed a milestone, and in that regard, we look forward to the impactful conversations, the policy positions that will be moved because of today's amazing coming together of all the brilliant minds. And of course, I look forward to all the happenings for the next couple of days here in beautiful Bahamas. As we get the ball rolling, let's welcome to bring remarks someone who is indeed very passionate about not only CANTO, but advancing our technological capacity here in the region. To bring some remarks, we want to welcome, of course, Theresa Wankin, Secretary General of CANTO, Of course, she is indeed a visionary leader and at the forefront of advancing telecommunications and information and communication technology. With a distinguished career spanning decades, Mrs. Wankin has been instrumental in shaping policies and initiatives that drive connectivity, digital inclusion, and innovation. Her strategic leadership within CANTO has been pivotal in fostering collaboration among member organizations, governments, and key stakeholders. It gives me great pleasure to welcome to the lectern to bring remarks. Let's give a warm welcome to our Secretary General, Theresa Wankin.
Good evening, everyone. Shall I read the protocol list again? It is my honor to welcome you to CANTO 2025 in the beautiful Bahamas. This nation holds a special place in CANTO's story, not only as a founding member, but also as the country that has hosted more annual conferences than any other. It is truly fitting for CANTO to say, it is better in the Bahamas. We extend our heartfelt gratitude to the government of the Bahamas and our local partners for their warm hospitality and the generous support in hosting CANTO 2025. Their commitment to advancing the ICT in the region amplifies the spirit of collaboration and innovation that defines CANTO and this conference. The Bahamas is much more than a host. It is a beacon of ICT leadership and regional integration, and we are proud to return here to celebrate our 40th anniversary. This is more than a conference. It's a homecoming, a celebration of legacy, and a launching pad for the future. If you are part of the connectivity industry, this is the place to be. And let me speak directly to each stakeholder group in this room. Every minister, every regulator, every vendor, and of course, every operator. When you commit to CANTO, whether through sponsorship, exhibition, or showing up as an attendee, you are not just attending an event, you're joining a community, the CANTO community. You're adding your voice to the region and giving back to the citizens, people, and the businesses we serve. Our numbers tell a story. We have broken a record because we have 750 delegates from 52 countries. I'm not done. We have 2 prime ministers, 13 ICT ministers, the chairman of the FCC, and the secretary general of the ITU. Today, we are sending a clear message. The Caribbean is united, and the Caribbean is ready to shape our digital future. CANTO is about connection, collaboration, and action. We do business, form partnerships, and drive progress. At the heart of this event is also our exhibition showcase, and we have over 40 vendors bringing innovation to life through immersive demonstrations and solutions tailored specifically for this region. CANTO 2025 have one simple goal: a connected Caribbean where every child, business, island, and institution has access to the tools needed to thrive in a gigabit world. So as we begin this landmark event, let us connect, let us collaborate, and let us innovate. On behalf of the entire CANTO team, thank you and welcome to CANTO 2025. Let the transformation and the celebration begin. Thank you.
again, a sincere thanks. Theresa Wankin, bringing remarks, and of course, setting the tone as we dive into CANTO 2025, 40 years of CANTO. Before we continue with remarks on the stage, I want to take your attention across to our multimedia screen for a video greeting, address from the CANTO Director and CEO of Aliv, John Gomez. Enjoy.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome. I am John Gomez, CEO of Aliv, and it's truly a pleasure to be here, even if it's just on screen, to personally welcome you to the CANTO family. This moment is special, not just because you're joining the region's leading network of ICT and telecom professionals, but because you are stepping into a community that's all about connection, collaboration, and progress. As a proud partner in this year's event, Aliv is excited to have CANTO 2025 hosted right here in Nassau, and even more excited to have you be a part of it. This week is all about forging new relationships, learning from one another, and shaping the future of a unified, sustainable gigabyte society. So tonight, relax, enjoy, and get to know all the amazing people around you. Welcome again, and I look forward to seeing you throughout the conference.
And indeed, it is good to be alive. Are we alive this evening? We are. We continue with some remarks on stage, and in that regard, we want to welcome our chairman. And of course, our chairman comes with so much, again, years of service and distinction. Rio Newman is currently the executive director of International Regulatory and Government Affairs with Atlantic Tele Network International. Before joining ATNI, Del Rio was the Information and Communications ICT advisor to the government of Antigua and Barbuda. He also was the first telecommunications regulator in Jamaica and has also advised the various English-speaking governments on issues surrounding ICT. Coming to share with us and to set the tone and agenda, let's welcome our chairman, Del Rio Newman.
Good evening. The Right Honorable Prime Ministers, Prime Minister Davis, Prime Minister Mitchell, Honorable Ministers, Secretary General of the ITU, Chairman of the FCC, regulators, CEOs, partners, members of the CANTO family, and if this is your first time here, be assured you're now part of that CANTO family. And to every single person, past and present, who has helped build this remarkable organization, welcome. Firstly, let me thank you, Prime Minister Davis, for hosting us. And if the reception we received on landing is any indication of what is to come, I know these next few days will be off the hook. But I especially want to thank your ambassador, Mr. Leon Williams. That gentleman cannot be tired. He's the Energizer Bunny himself. And also I'd like to thank your loyal citizens, Mr. John Gomez, and your headline sponsor, Mr. Samir Bhatti. It is with immense pride and deep appreciation that I stand before you tonight as chairman of CANTO at this historic 40th anniversary conference under the theme that doesn't just speak to the future, but demands that we shape it towards a unified and sustainable Caribbean gigabit society. If you indulge me for a few minutes, I'd like to reflect briefly on 40 years of progress. 4 decades ago, CANTO was just formed to watch the evolution of Caribbean telecommunications. We were born to lead it. We have gone from analog to digital, from copper to fiber, from local calls to global connections. We have seen isolated networks become integrated lifelines, powering commerce, healthcare, education, and culture across islands, across borders, across generations. And we have done it together with vision, with resilience, with the relentless spirit that defines this region. That's what defines CANTO. So where are we today? We have built a strong foundation for connectivity, but let's be honest, the job's not done. Across the region, 15 million Caribbean nationals still lack mobile broadband. 4 million households are without fiber. And yet, the demand is surging. Mobile data usage in the Caribbean is projected to grow by 26% by 2030, reaching 15 gigabits per connection per month. That means our networks will need to carry 5 times more traffic, which means massive new investments. But let me be clear, we have a problem. Right now, 70% of all mobile data traffic in the region comes from 4 players: Meta, Google, TikTok, Netflix. In 2024 alone, those platforms earned over US $11.5 billion from the Caribbean users, and yet they contribute nothing towards the infrastructure that carries their content. That's not just unsustainable, that's unjust. It creates a market imbalance, it perpetuates market failure, and it leaves a staggering investment gap of between US 9 to 14 billion in the region. Let me say it plainly. If you profit from the digital economy, you must help power the digital infrastructure. That's why CANTO, through our C9 group, led ably by Lisa Agard, will continue to speak up and work hand in hand with CARICOM's private sector organization and the leadership of CARICOM itself. We will not be silent on this issue. As we look ahead, our vision is bold. CANTO will work with you ministers, regulators, and partners to, 1, first craft a unified gigabit roadmap with harmonized regulations, coordinated spectrum, and infrastructure sharing. Secondly, we will champion digital sustainability through climate-resilient networks, green data centers, and a skilled future-ready workforce. Third, we will lead on fair digital policy, ensuring that OTTs and cloud providers carry their share of the ecosystem they rely on. And fourth, strengthen partnerships, public and private, local and global, regional and international. Colleagues, friends, the next 40 years of Caribbean telecommunications must not be shaped by chance. It must be shaped by choice. Let us choose unity over fragmentation. Let us choose sustainability over short-term thinking. Let us choose to build a Caribbean gigabit society that empowers every citizen, every island, every country, and every future entrepreneur. This is our moment. This is our mission. One Caribbean, one digital future, one CANTO. And thank you, and happy 40th anniversary.
Thank you so much for the remarks, Dr. Newman, our chairman. Let me recognize in our presence this evening the Deputy Prime Minister, of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, the Honorable Ichester Cooper, here with us, indeed. Also members of the Cabinet of the Government, indeed. Thank you for your presence this evening. It gives me great pleasure to welcome next to the lectern our headline sponsor. And I can safely tell you, as the CEO of Liberty Caribbean, she is responsible for overseeing the operational performance of the company, including oversight of strategic planning, technology, elevation, product development, and implementation, also sales operation and customer service. She is also the chairperson of the Liberty Caribbean Charitable Foundation, and I can safely tell you that recently in Brickell, Miami, they had a fantastic summit, great rollout, and of course, coming out of that, they had the gala to raise funds for the foundation. Of course, kudos to Reese and the team for putting on a fantastic show. And I say today, without fear of contradiction, not only is Inga Smidts the CEO of Liberty Caribbean, based on that experience, she is also the CEO of Vibes and Good Energy. Yes, I remember that particular trip so well. Let's give a warm welcome to our sponsor, bringing remarks, the CEO of Liberty Caribbean, Inga Smidts.
Thank you. I hope there are no videos of that one. Huh? So good evening, everybody. I hope everybody's doing really well. So super happy to be here tonight. Good evening, Honorable Philip Davis, Prime Minister of the Bahamas. Nice to see you again. Prime Ministers and Heads of State, regional ministers of government and distinguished delegates. Dr. Rio Newman, thank you for that very nice message you just made. Charles Douglas, which we know very well, the Board of Directors of CANTO, Mrs. Theresa Watkins, Mrs. Doreen Bogdan-Martin, Secretary International of Telecommunication Union, Mr. Brandon Carr, Chairman of the Federal Communication Commission, my esteemed colleagues at Liberty Latin America and at Liberty Caribbean, all CANTO members, industry stakeholders and partners here gathered today, ladies and gentlemen. It is absolute both an honor and a privilege to welcome everybody to the 40th annual CANTO conference, right here in, yes, beautiful Bahamas. This year's conference carries a very special weight. For more than 4 decades, CANTO has stood as a driving force behind the Caribbean digital evolution. It brings us together. It's a trusted platform for dialogue, collaboration, and collective progress. Without it, we would not be making it. So now, as we mark this extraordinary milestone under the banner towards unified and sustainable Caribbean gigabit society, we aren't just celebrating the history, but we're stepping boldly into the future. A future where access to high-speed connectivity, I think it was just made in some remarks just before me, it is universal. Where innovation and inclusion move in lockstep, and a future where technology fuels sustainability, economic resilience, and social equity across every community and every island we serve. That's also why with Liberty Caribbean, we also drive things like Jump forward. This year's theme strikes at the very heart of what we do at Liberty Caribbean. As one of the region's leading enablers of digital connectivity, we are deeply invested in building the networks, building the systems, the partnerships, that's why we're here also today, that deliver that gigabit-ready Caribbean society, one that is fast, fair, and future-ready. Our recent evolution from cable and wireless communication into Liberty Caribbean reflects that commitment to the region. It's not just words, it is a real commitment. It's not simply a rebrand. It's a reaffirmation of our purpose, of who we are, to connect communities, change lives through bold innovation, and yes, local empowerment, driving progress through really intelligent connectivity. We are incredibly proud to once again serve as headline sponsor for this year's CANTO flagship event. Our long-standing relationship with CANTO reflects our shared belief in power of collaboration between governments, between regulators, between operators and innovators. We have to move the region forward. We have no choice. Because the truth is this: no one entity can build the real Caribbean space. We cannot do it alone. It takes all of us together, working together, guided by a shared vision and driven by a collective sense of urgency. That's why Liberty Caribbean continues to invest in resilient infrastructure, sustainable network expansion, cybersecurity, and digital education. Because we believe connectivity is not luxury, but a basic right. From video calls to virtual classrooms, from smart cities to remote villages, we power them every day, everywhere. And we know the future we want, one that is smart, secure, inclusive, and green. And this will only be achieved if we work together. Over the next few days, we look forward to engage with all of you on the critical topics that will shape that future forward, from artificial intelligence to digital sustainability, from broadband equity to resilient infrastructure, and from policy frameworks to economic empowerment. But even more importantly, we look forward to listen what all of you have to say, to the voices across this room and across this region, who continue to challenge us, myself and my teams, inspire us and push us forward. It's a daily debate. As we celebrate the legacy of CANTO and embark on this next chapter, I urge every delegate here in this room, every partner and every policymaker to see this conference not just as a gathering, but as a call to action. This is our moment to help shape a digital Caribbean that reflects our values, meets our needs, and embraces our full potential. So please, don't just watch it happen, just be part of it, because the work we do here in the next days, today, tomorrow, and on Tuesday, will echo far beyond these walls, and it is absolutely critical. On behalf of all of us here at Liberty Caribbean, thank you for the trust, the partnership, the opportunity to walk this journey together. We are here with you. Here's at 40 years of CANTO and to building the future together. We are here to do it with you guys all together. Thank you very much.
Our headline sponsor, ladies and gentlemen, Smidts, CEO of Liberty Caribbean. Thank you so much for your remarks. We continue as we welcome to the lectern the chairman of FCC, that is the Federal Communications Commission, United States of America, and of course, Mr. Carr, who is the chairman. He comes with so many years of experience. Now, he previously served as the Senior Republican Commissioner and as FCC's General Counsel. Nominated by both President Trump and President Biden, Carr has been confirmed unanimously by the Senate 3 times. Again, so many years of experience. The chairman, Mr. Carr, brings nearly 20 years of private and public sector experience in communications and tech policy to his position. Now, when you consider his groundbreaking initiative at the FCC and the fact that they were able to connect so many Americans and veterans with delivering high quality care to low-income Americans and veterans, this is because, of course, he takes a different approach to his role and function. He regularly hits the road to hear directly from community members and learn how changes in federal policies could help improve their lives. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a warm CANTO welcome to the chairman of the FCC, Mr. Bogdan Carr.
Thank you so much. Standing on established protocol, good evening. Good evening and congratulations to CANTO on your 40th annual conference. At the outset, I want to say thank you to the Prime Minister of the Bahamas, Philip Davis, for your warm welcome today and for your hospitality tonight. And congratulations to you, Mr. Prime Minister, on your country's celebration this week of 52 years of independence. Now, I know what you're thinking with my hairline, or more appropriately, the lack thereof. I too must be north of 50, but I'm not quite there yet. I think as the Bahamas shows, the best is yet to come. Thank you as well to CANTO's chairman, Dr. Rio Newman, CANTO's Secretary General, Theresa, Wankin, and the whole CANTO team for organizing this important gathering. Good evening as well to all of tonight's distinguished guests, ministers, fellow regulators, for this important gathering that we're here today for. I'd also like to acknowledge my colleague, Doreen Bogdan-Martin, who's here tonight doing a great job serving as the Secretary General of the ITU. As you probably know, Doreen is running for a second term as the ITU Secretary General. And I'd be remiss if I did not add here that the United States is very pleased to support Doreen's candidacy for this important role once again. Yeah. I appreciate that so many of you in your ITU member states backed her last candidacy just 4 years ago, when I would encourage and ask that all ITU members back her candidacy again this time. I am confident that we and all the people that we represent and work for have benefited greatly from Doreen's service, and all of us would continue to do so with her re-election. For my part, I want to say that this is truly a privilege to join with you all this evening. In January, President Trump designated me as chairman of the Federal Communications Commission. I started out as a staffer at the agency back in 2012. I've had the privilege of holding many roles inside the agency ever since then. It's an honor of a lifetime to serve in this capacity. Now, not only is this my first opportunity to speak at CANTO since becoming chairman of the FCC, this is also the first time that an FCC chairman has attended this event since 2018. I'm glad I could break that streak and be with you here in person. I especially wanted to be here tonight. Thank you. I especially wanted to be here tonight to share with you how much the Trump administration values our neighbors here in the Caribbean. And I want to express our government's commitment to collaborating with you on our many shared priorities. In fact, I think you will see across the Trump administration a renewed and strong commitment to this region. After all, when President Trump came into office, he committed to ensuring that U.S. foreign policy would align with our nation's interests. And as Secretary of State Marco Rubio has made clear, to realize President Trump's vision, we're putting our region, the Americas, first. And we're doing so through actions, not just words. In the first few months that I've served as chairman of the FCC, I've only taken 2 international trips. I have a lot of work going on inside the building. One of them is here with you tonight, because we are committed to strengthening ties with our friends and partners in our own hemisphere, especially in the Caribbean. Secretary Rubio echoed these same themes during his first visit to the region earlier this year. He emphasized that the prosperity and security of the United States and the Caribbean are intertwined. The U.S. and the many Caribbean nations are unique. At the same time, we're also bound by shared values, heritage, culture, and community. I believe that we are called upon to work together to expand opportunity and stand united against malign actors that do not have the region's best interests in mind. If we do those things, we can build a new era in our relationships, grounded firmly in the timeless values that bind our nations. Now, when I think back to 2018, to the last time that an FCC chairman attended CANTO, I think it's safe to say that a lot has changed in 7 years. For my part, I would say we have an upgrade in FCC chairman himself. I'm kidding, of course. Chairman Ajit Pai is a very, very good friend and gave me my start at the agency. But when you look back over 7 years, it is a lifetime in telecom. Back at the start of 2018, 5G had yet to launch in the United States and in many nations. Today, 5G networks cover over 330 million Americans. The US has more than 200 million active 5G sites, and 5G home broadband are services available to millions of US homes. 7 years ago, satellite broadband was mostly delivered from massive geostationary satellites orbiting 22,000 miles above Earth. Today, we have constellations of low Earth orbit satellites 60 times closer to Earth, delivering high-speed connectivity to millions of subscribers across 140 countries. Since 2018, ChatGPT went live, and the AI revolution has moved into a new phase where it promises to impact almost every facet of our global economy and the lives we live. Now, I think we can draw some valuable lessons from the changes over the past 7 years. For starters, they remind us that the one constant for the tech sector has and always will be rapid and disruptive change. As regulators, that means we need to be nimble and keep our eyes on where the proverbial puck is going, not where it's been in the past. Now, for our back home in the States, I might elaborate on what we call the Gretzky test, which is named after the famous ice hockey player, but I recognize the limits of an ice hockey metaphor here in the Bahamas. A second lesson I would draw from the change of the past 7 years is that policy decisions matter. Back in 2018, my friend and predecessor, Chairman Pai, focused his CANTO remarks on the FCC's efforts to spur 5G build-out. He spoke about the FCC's plans at the time to free up mid-band spectrum and make it easier to deploy tens of thousands of small cells. Fast forward to today, in the Wall Street Journal, recently reported that the price of home internet service in the US has fallen over 3% compared to a year ago. The biggest reason for the price drop, in my view, is that 5G fixed wireless has brought meaningful new competition to the home internet marketplace. And this has been enabled by those spectrum and infrastructure policies Chairman Pai laid out at CANTO just those 7 years ago. One more lesson I think we can all draw from the changes over the past 7 years is that we are in a once-in-a-generation moment for tech policy. The dynamics created by the combination of AI and ubiquitous, high-speed connectivity may very well be compared to the dawn of the commercial internet itself. And this creates a real moment of opportunity, an opportunity for us to harness the power of technology to improve the lives of the people we all work for. We owe it to the people we serve to think big and act boldly. And this takes me to the agenda we're running at the FCC. A little over a week ago, I gave a speech where I laid out my vision for the FCC and what we should be doing to seize this moment. I call it our Build America agenda. It's focused on delivering on a number of core objectives: unleashing high-speed infrastructure builds, restoring leadership in wireless, boosting the space economy, advancing national security, and strengthening our telecom workforce. Now, one theme that cuts across this agenda is promoting universal connectivity. Obviously, this has long been a unifying theme here at CANTO as well. It's echoed in this year's conference theme, towards a unified and sustainable Caribbean gigabit society. We are committed to working with you to making sure that all people we serve have a fair shot at next-generation connectivity. I'd like to briefly highlight, thank you. I'd like to briefly highlight a few specific parts of the Build America agenda where I see a lot of additional common ground with CANTO. Across the board, I think we can advance our shared goals by cutting the regulatory red tape that slows down broadband deployment and needlessly raises costs for providers. That's why we're pursuing a comprehensive deregulatory agenda at the FCC to replace heavy-handed rules with smart, simple, and light-touch regulation. We've titled the docket In Re, Delete, 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 to try to give you an idea of how serious we are about getting rid of regulations. This month, we'll be voting on a proposal to make it easier for broadband builders to access utility poles for hanging new high-speed lines. At the same time, we'll be voting on another proposal to free up capital for new networks by eliminating rules that have forced providers to keep investing in old copper line networks, even when they want to shift that capital over into new high-speed lines. Our Build America agenda also requires the U.S. to make more progress in freeing up spectrum for consumer use. On this front, we're now full steam ahead. Just days ago, thanks to President Trump and our Congress working together, they restored the FCC Spectrum Auction Authority, which had lapsed a couple of years ago. So now we have a robust pipeline of spectrum, and we're moving ahead with that. At the same time, the FCC has launched an effort to ensure spectrum abundance for satellite broadband. Over the next few years, we intend to work closely with our allies and partners in the region on spectrum harmonization for next-generation terrestrial, mobile, and satellite services. Regarding satellite broadband, SpaceX's Starlink has already been a game changer for connecting the world's hardest-to-serve areas, including remote islands. In fact, just last month, Dominica authorized Starlink service, joining 12 other countries and territories in the region. Just 2 weeks ago, Amazon's Project Kuiper successfully launched its second batch of satellites for broadband service. The FCC's goal in all of this is to add rocket fuel to this trend towards new satellite constellations. Indeed, the FCC is speeding up and simplifying our satellite-related processes to make it easier for companies to grow and for new players to get in the game. One additional point bears some emphasis tonight. I've said that network security is a core component of our Build America agenda. I know that this is a concern for you as well, as evidenced by last year's Salt Typhoon attacks, where hackers tied to China breached the infrastructure of a number of major US telecom companies and others around the globe. The world faces a persistent threat from foreign adversaries like the Communist Party of China. I'm sure many utility and telecom operators here in the region have been subject to hacks and ransomware attacks as well. The CCP is constantly exploring for ways to breach our networks. The more that the United States and our regional allies can work together and make security decisions based on shared principles, the safer that our networks will be. After all, today's networks carry some of our government's and our people's most sensitive and personal data. It's therefore incumbent that we work together to ensure that our networks are secure and free from untrustworthy vendors and untrusted network gear. Now, as I close my remarks tonight and look forward to learning from the other speakers, I want to end on this point. As your friend, as your neighbor, the United States government looks forward to working with you to expand opportunity, security, and prosperity to all of the people that we are so honored to serve. Working together with our Caribbean allies, we will make our hemisphere safer, stronger, and more prosperous today and for all future generations. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Greetings there from the chairman of the FCC, Chairman Carr. Thank you so much for your remarks. As I look around, it's indeed a real joy to see almost capacity room, just a few seats, remain. And by all means, lots going on in terms of remarks, setting the agenda, setting the tone. But we're here in beautiful Bahamas, and there is so much talent, especially with the young people, the youth. They are indeed the future of this blessed islands. And as it relates to their voices and their particular style, we're going to bring forward a choir at this point in time. Very passionate with their music. It's Ministry of Revolution Church. That's where they're from, and indeed, their music and their group is infused with faith, ignited by fire, and rooted, deeply rooted in Bahamian culture. CANTO 2025, 40 years of CANTO. Help me bring to the stage the Rev Voices.
Beautiful Bahamaland neath sunny skies so blue. Firm by your side we take our stand, loyal vows pledging anew. Beautiful Bahamaland, we shall be steadfast and true. Deep our devotion, profound as the ocean, and as strong our love for you. CANTO, welcome to the Bahamas. If the good Lord never goes on holiday, tell me why he loved the Bahamas. And if the good Lord never used to come this way, tell me why he made these islands. All the sun, all the keys, all the skies, all the breeze, all the hills, all the sand, all the streets. So tell me why. Tell me why he made the Bahamas. Listen, if the good Lord never used to come this way, tell me why he made these islands. And if the good Lord never goes on holiday, tell me why he made the Bahamas. Help me sing. All the sun, all the keys, all the skies, all the breeze, all the hills, all the sand, all the trees. So tell me why. Tell me why. He made the Bahamas. All the sun, all the keys, all the skies, all the breeze. Oh, yeah. So tell me why. Tell me why. He made these islands. Let's go. We going there. Going there. We going there. Make some noise if you can. We going there. We going there. We going there. Going to Can Island. Oh, Can Island. Join the rake and scrape man. Going to Can Island. Oh, Can Island. Join the rake and scrape man. Going to Can Island. Oh, Can Island. Join the rake and scrape man. Going to Can Island. Oh, Can Island. Join the rake and scrape man. Oh, my Andros. She wake, she wake, she wake, she wake, she wake, she wake, she wake. Andros and she wake. Oh, my Andros. She wake, she wake, she wake, she wake, she wake, she wake, she wake. Andros and she wake. Oh, my Andros. She wake, she wake, she wake, she wake, she wake, she wake, she wake. Andros and she wake. Oh, my Andros. She wake, she wake, she wake, she wake, she wake, she wake, she wake. Andros and she wake. Come on, CANTO, let me see you clap your hands. Come on, we can clap together. Come on, clap, 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 clap. Come on, I can't hear you. Come on. This is a medley of Bahamian songs. We're going to go right here with this one. Oh, let me go down to pay money. Never get a lick until you go down.
It's simple.
to
Say
Bimini.
it. Say, oh, let me go down to Bimini.
Never get a lick
Come on,
until
Lucy,
you
come
go
on.
down to
Hey.
Bimini.
Say, oh, let me go down to Bimini.
Never get a lick until you go down to Bimini.
I say, oh, let me go down to Bimini.
Never get a lick until you
Come on, let's
go
take it
down
out.
to Bimini.
Oh, la-di-da.
Oh, la-di-di, die,
Say, oh, la-di-da.
oh, la-di-di, die,
Oh, la-di-da.
oh, la-di-di, die,
Oh, la-di-da.
oh, la-di-di,
Come on, one more time.
die,
Oh, la-di-da.
oh, la-di-di, die,
Say, oh, la-di-da.
oh, la-di-di, die,
Oh, la-di-da.
oh, la-di-di, die,
Oh, la-di-da.
oh, la-di-di, die,
Go ahead, clap your hands, and welcome to the Bahamas Canto. Thank you.
That's right, taking us to praise and worship, the rare voices. Ladies and gentlemen, well done again. That's the youth choir. And when we consider that word itself, youth, some people, well, I know the UN, they designate youth 15 to about 24. Other organizations look at youth from around 15 to about 35, thereabouts. So anyone beyond 35, we are now in the realm of what they call hardback man and woman. Yes, so we can't be in the choir. We could probably be part of the senior chorale, but that's the youth choir. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up again for the rare voices. That's right. We have one more cultural item towards the end, and I look forward to that so much because that is, again, another taste of the Bahamian culture. But as we get back to remarks on stage, we want to welcome our keynote speaker. It gives me great pleasure to welcome the Secretary General of the International Telecommunications Union, the ITU. Now, Ms. Bogdan-Martin has held leadership positions in the field of international telecommunications, and this has spanned for about 3 decades with a track record of brokering innovative partnerships to expand digital exclusion and connectivity for everyone around the world. Now, following, again, hear this is very significant, following her historic election by the ITU member states in September 2022, she became the first woman ever to head the organization. And mind you, this organization was established back in 1865, before any one of us was a thought, and it became a UN specialized agency in 1947. Now, as she makes her way to the lectern, I'll let you know that within ITU, she has promoted gender equality and encouraged bringing more women into the workforce, as well as, yes, as well as helping women grow professionally and contributing to networks of women pursuing gender-balanced participation in conferences and policy making. It gives me great pleasure. Let's give a warm CANTO welcome to our keynote speaker, Mrs. Doreen Bogdan-Martin.
Thank you so much. Excellencies, ministers, CANTO, leadership, distinguished delegates, partners, and friends, good evening. It's a pleasure and an honor to join you here in the beautiful Commonwealth of the Bahamas for this landmark occasion to celebrate the 40th Annual Conference of CANTO. Let me begin by recognizing His Excellency, Prime Minister Philip Davis. Thank you, Prime Minister, for the incredible hospitality that I think genuinely reflects the vibrant spirit of this island nation, and indeed the Caribbean as a whole. Let me also recognize the Prime Minister of Grenada, Prime Minister Mitchell, of course to you, Theresa, Secretary General Wankin, Chairman Mike Newman, thank you. And to the CANTO leadership, our heartfelt congratulations from all of us at the International Telecommunications Union on your 40th anniversary. As you heard from our wonderful MC, my institution turned 160 this year. 40 years of CANTO leadership, vision, and collaboration. I think that's quite an incredible achievement. You have helped to shape the digital trajectory of this region and inspired action beyond its shores. Your story is one of regional innovation, of resilience, of steadfast commitment to connection, which is something that I think in terms of values we all deeply share. This year's theme, towards a unified and sustainable Caribbean gigabyte society, I think is both ambitious, but it's absolutely essential. It's not just about faster network. It's about building a future where every single person on every island can thrive in the digital age. And I say that with fresh perspective, having just come from two major gatherings that concluded last Friday in Geneva, the AI for Good Global Summit and the WSIS Plus 20 high-level event. The WSIS Plus 20 marked 2 decades of global digital cooperation, reaffirming the importance of a people-centered, inclusive, development-oriented digital future. At AI for Good, we witnessed how emerging technologies like artificial intelligence are transforming everything from education to disaster preparedness. These events made one thing crystal clear. The digital divide is no longer about access. It's actually about meaningful access. It's about economic empowerment. It's about societal resilience. And it's about human progress. The Caribbean, with its unique geography and climate vulnerabilities, is a global leader when it comes to innovation, when it comes to adaptation. And of course, we at the International Telecommunications Union are proud to be your steadfast partner in helping to chart a path towards meaningful connectivity and a sustainable gigabyte society, especially this year as we mark our own milestone anniversary of 160 years. I wanted to share just a couple of highlights on things that we're doing together. I'd start first with reinforcing digital foundations through innovative financing as well as policy and regulatory modernization. I2 has partnered with several Caribbean governments to develop digital transformation strategies that can help foster growth of the blue economy. Our collaboration with UN partners like UNDP, UN Women, is helping thousands of women and youth-led businesses to tap into the power and potential of digital innovation. We've also provided technical expertise and policy support in the advancement of the regional ICT regulatory authority, an entity that we see can actually help to foster a competitive digital market and stimulate new investment. Our Partner to Connect Digital Coalition, I think, is another great example of the power of strong, impactful partnerships, especially when it comes to investing in meaningful connectivity. Last week, we topped over 1,000 pledges and commitments worth an estimated financial value of $76 billion in commitments. 15% of that is targeted to island nations. Second, we're working hard to advance digital inclusion by building trust in digital services and connecting communities meaningfully. GIGA, which is the ITU UNICEF initiative to connect every school on the planet to the internet, is now active in 41 countries, many of them right here in the Caribbean. Our GIGA team, together with the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States, is working to build government capacity to connect as many schools as we can across the entire region. When it comes to building trust, ITU's continued technical capacity building to support EID initiatives also helps to ensure secure, inclusive digital identities. The establishment of National Digital Financial Services Security Task Forces is strengthening infrastructure and cybersecurity, helping to create that solid foundation of trust for mobile financial services and bolstering consumer protection. And third, we are building resilience together through our work, in particular when it comes to emergency telecommunications. As part of the Early Warnings for All initiative, ITU is helping to implement solutions like cell broadcast and location-based warnings to millions of handsets as part of our work to make sure that those that are at risk are alerted before a disaster strikes, when even a few seconds can actually save lives and livelihoods. We're also working to strengthen preparedness, which is critical, by supporting capacity building for comprehensive national emergency telecommunication plans. Our Smart Seas project, in partnership with the Caribbean Telecommunications Union and the Telecommunications Authority of Trinidad and Tobago, is saving lives by improving emergency telecommunications for people working in the small-scale fishing industry. We have also something that I'm keen on, the WinLink network, which continues to integrate amateur radio operators, and I am a proud amateur radio operator, to support emergency telecommunication frameworks in 7 Caribbean countries. Those are just some highlights of things that we are doing together thus far. And I think some of those things are amazing, helping to save lives, to stimulate economic growth, job opportunities, to help to improve living standards through economic empowerment. But I'm confident we can do much, much more. Our collective achievements in crafting innovative policy and enabling frameworks, delivering meaningful connectivity, and strengthening digital resilience gives me hope. Hope for the potential of what lies ahead with all of us working as one. I'm looking forward to diving deeper into these topics when we meet tomorrow morning. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, I thought I would just share one thought with you before we wrap up. It's often said that a rising tide lifts all boats. As the digital tide continues to rise across the Caribbean, let's make sure that it lifts every island nation, every community, and every life to new heights of opportunity and prosperity. And let's do that together. You can count on ITU to be right here with you and support you in this great voyage towards an equitable and sustainable digital future for all. Thank you very much.
Again, a sincere thanks to our keynote speaker, Mrs. Doreen Bogdan-Martin, the Secretary General of the ITU. Of course, certainly we continue, and we will transition immediately into our featured speaker. And to welcome our featured speaker, the Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, we welcome his colleague, Wade Watson, Parliamentary Secretary and Minister of Economic Affairs. Now, the Honorable Mr. Watson is a dedicated public servant and a member of the Bahamian Parliament, representing the constituency of Baines and Grantstown in Nassau. He has a passion for technology and innovation and a commitment for improving the lives and living conditions of his constituents. He played a pivotal role in leading the implementation of several notable national ICT projects, including, but not limited to, Bahamas e-passport system, modernization of the road traffic department, electronic monitoring system, implementation of national health insurance information systems, and numerous other innovative governmental solutions. Let's give a warm CANTO welcome to the Honorable Wade Watson.
Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, distinguished participants, good evening. I bid pardon to stand on the already established protocol. Welcome to the wonderful islands of the Bahamas, particularly New Providence. We are deeply grateful for your presence. I am deeply grateful for your presence to stand here today before you as we gather to explore the future of telecommunications and technology in our region. Today, we are privileged to have a keynote address from our exceptional leader who has demonstrated unwavering commitment to the progressive economic and social development of the Bahamas. Prime Minister Davis has steadfastly advocated for advancing technology and innovation, recognizing their vital roles in shaping a sustainable and inclusive future for our nation and the Caribbean region. His vision for a digitally empowered society, which aligns perfectly with the theme of this conference, is a testament to his understanding of the role of technology in our future. Under his leadership, the Bahamas has made significant strides in embracing digital transformation, enhancing connectivity, and fostering an environment conducive to growth and investment in the tech sector. His dedication to improving the lives of Bahamians through technology, a commitment that is both admirable and inspiring, is a key aspect of his leadership. In this current term in office, he's been instrumental in approving and demonstrating his advocacy for information and communications technologies and innovation by approving critical projects that would advance and catapult the Bahamas as a gigabit technology, eco-friendly country. He has approved the revamping, rebranding, and revolutionizing of the government's website. He has sanctioned a major revolutionary human resources, payroll, and financial management system, the Oracle Fusion project, aimed at improving efficiency within the government. Because of his vision and appreciation of technology, he sanctioned and established the National Data Center, owned and operated by the government of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, which is geared towards improving telecommunications, improving our computing power, and reducing recurrent telecommunications expenditure for the government. Some of you may have had the experience to traverse and experience the free Wi-Fi as you traverse the downtown and fish fry areas, establishing the first smart city in the region. Prime Minister Davis, along with our Deputy Prime Minister Chester Cooper, bolstered this project. In keeping with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, bridging the digital divide, Prime Minister Davis gave instructions to implement Wi-Fi in public parks and community centers throughout the length and breadth of the Bahamas, to ensure that the most vulnerable amongst us have free access to information and data via the internet. Additionally, AI is a global BLUS acronym, and Prime Minister Davis has been proactive by ensuring that we here in the Bahamas create policies to regulate and legislate its use within government. As we prepare for this insightful and visionary remarks, let us take a moment to appreciate the significance of this gathering. CANTO 2025 is a platform for collaboration, dialogue, and innovation, where we can share ideas that will shape the future of telecommunications in our region. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, please stand with me and welcome to the podium a husband, a father and grandfather, an avid Miami sports fan, a prime minister who has championed the cause for climate change financing for the region, a king's counsel, a devoted Anglican, and a man who has reached the pinnacle of his aspirations, my boss, the Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, the Honorable Philip Edward Davis. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Please be seated. Wow. That introduction, all I would say is that my mother would have thanked him. And my father will say, was that my son? My friends, good night. I adopt the protocol that has been established and just welcome all of you here. We are particularly pleased that so many of you would take the time out to join CANTO's 40th anniversary meeting here in the Bahamas. You know, by the time I finish speaking, a new technological advancement will be made. By the time I take my seat and the next speaker begins, another will follow. This is the rhythm of the age we live in, an age defined by rapid innovation, constant acceleration, and the rise of technologies that now shape every aspect of our economies, our institutions, and our lives. But while the digital revolution promises so much, it also lays bare the deep disparities between what is possible and what is currently real for too many of our citizens. Across the Caribbean, there are still children who cannot access reliable internet to complete a school assignment. There are small businesses shut out of global markets because the infrastructure simply doesn't exist. There are civil servants expected to deliver 21st century services with 20th century tools. And if we are being honest with ourselves, if we are truly committed to the people we serve, we must admit that while the world is building faster, smarter, and more connected systems, we are still moving too slowly, too unevenly, too cautiously. We are living through one of the most profound shifts in human history. Artificial intelligence, quantum computing, blockchain, these are not distant possibilities. They are shaping global markets now, influencing public life now, redefining power now. And yet, at the same time, many of our nations are still grappling with the basics, ensuring rural communities have access to broadband, that schools have devices, and that citizens can interact with their governments without having to take a day off from work. This is not just a matter of development. It is a matter of in my view, justice. Because when access to digital systems determine access to opportunity, exclusion is no longer just economic. It becomes structural. It becomes generational. It becomes a quiet, creeping injustice, robbing people of the right to fully participate in modern life. But friends, this is not a story of defeat. There's another side to this story, a story of what is possible when political will meets practical action. And here in the Bahamas, we have proven that leadership in the digital space does not depend on size, but on vision and courage. We became the first nation in the world to launch a central bank digital currency, the Sand Dollar. Not as a symbolic gesture, but as a practical solution to a real problem. How do we ensure that people across a scattered archipelago of 700 islands can access safe, efficient, and modern financial services? We followed that bold move with the passage of the DARE Act, one of the world's earliest and clearest attempts to regulate the digital asset space responsibly. In doing so, we rejected the view that small states must wait on global consensus before acting. We proved that we can lead on our own terms for our own people. This is what effective digital policy looks like. Action rooted in equity, grounded in law, and aimed at building real opportunity. But isolated success is not enough. Because if some countries lead while others lag, we do not become a region of progress. We become a region divided. And in a world as interconnected as ours, no nation can afford to advance alone. We are therefore called not just to lead individually, but to act collectively, to build systems that are interoperable, secure, and inclusive, to invest not only in platforms, but in people, in the teachers who will train the coders, in the regulators who will govern the platforms, and in the young people whose ideas will power the next wave of innovation. And we must also be clear-eyed about the dangers. We must also be clear this is not simply about platforms or data storage. It is about security, sovereignty, and stability. Cybercrime is not a future threat. It is a present one. Misinformation, data exploitation, and digital surveillance are eroding trust and weakening democratic institutions. Our electoral systems are vulnerable. Our public database are exposed. Our citizens are being targeted not with bombs or bullets, but with falsehoods, with manipulation, with breaches of privacy that go unseen but cut deep. This is the nature of modern conflict, quiet, digital, and relentless. And if we do not build the legal, institutional, and technical frameworks to confront these threats now, we will lose control of the very systems we depend on to function as sovereign nations. Digital colonization is not just about who owns the infrastructure. It is about who decides what is true, who has access to power, who profits from our participation, and who shapes the rules of this century's economy. And if we do not secure our digital future, someone else will do it for us. So the question before us is not whether the world is changing, it is whether we are willing to change with it, and whether we are prepared to do so with the urgency, the seriousness, and moral clarity this moment demands. We must not act simply because the technology exists, but because justice requires it, because no child should be left behind due to a lack of signal. No business should be locked out of opportunity because of where it is located. And no country, no matter how small, should be told that it cannot shape its own digital destiny. This is the time for resolve, for responsibility, and above all, for leadership rooted in service to the people we are elected to serve. We can choose to be a region that is ahead, or we continue year after year to fall behind. There's no middle ground. The pace of global change is too fast. The stakes are too high. The costs of inaction are no longer theoretical. They are visible, measurable, and already being borne by the most vulnerable in our societies. To be ahead means investing seriously in our digital infrastructure, in training teachers, not just to teach literacy and numeracy, but to prepare students for the economies of tomorrow. To be ahead means ensuring our young people have access not just to devices, but to the education, mentorship, and capital needed to become creators, not just consumers, in the digital world. To be ahead means building regional resilience, not as a talking point, but as a common framework for cybersecurity, data protection, and cloud infrastructure that secures our sovereignty in a world where power is shifting from the physical to the digital. But to be ahead also means having the courage to confront the uncomfortable. Why are some of our best minds still forced to leave the region to find opportunity? Why are Caribbean innovators still struggling to access funding when the world is awash in capital for digital transformation? Why do we spend more time adopting external platforms than building our own? If we want to lead, we cannot simply copy models from abroad. We must build systems that reflect our values, our realities, and our aspirations. We must stop asking, is the Caribbean ready? And instead ask, what is required of us to lead? Because readiness is not a matter of capacity, it is a matter of will. There are small nations around the world with fewer resources than ours that have chosen to be laboratories for innovation because they understood that leadership is not about size, it's about seriousness. We can be among them. We must be among them. The alternative, drifting further into digital dependence, watching our economic margins erode, our young talent disengage, our public services falter, is not just unacceptable, it is and will be unavoidable. But only if we act now and act together. Let this not be another moment where we admire the challenge but shrink from the responsibility. Let this be the moment we say that Caribbean will lead, not by default, but by design. Not because we had more, but because we choose to do more with what we had. Friends, there was a time in our history when foreign powers came to our shores, claimed our resources, dictated our rules, and extracted our wealth, all without consent and often without resistance. We called it colonization. We were taught after independence that such times had passed, that sovereignty had been won, that we would now govern ourselves, build for ourselves, and protect the interests of our people. What if I told you that a new form of colonization is quietly underway? One without gunboats, without governors, but no less powerful, no less dangerous. Digital colonization. And it is happening right now. We use foreign platforms to communicate with our citizens. We store national data on servers located outside our legal jurisdiction. We adopt financial technologies we cannot regulate and rely on infrastructure we do not control. We call it progress, but in truth, it comes at a cost. The slow erosion of our authority, our self-determination, our agency. And I echo the concerns of Prime Minister Mia Mottley, who warned the world that the developing nations are becoming digital dependents. Connected, yes, but increasingly captive to systems that are built elsewhere, governed elsewhere, and extract value without accountability. The chairman spoke about some of those values that is being extracted without accountability. Google and the rest of those other giants out there. Today, we must not pretend that this is accidental. It is systematic, it's systemic. Today, our students learn from educational apps that track their behavior without local oversight. Our health data is managed through systems vulnerable to foreign interference. Our elections are influenced by content delivered through algorithms we neither understand or control. This is not partnership. This leads to dependence. And dependence of this kind, unquestioned, unregulated, and unbalanced, is how colonization begins again. Except this time, it arrives not with flags, but with terms of service. Not with armies, but with data centers. Not with declarations, but with contracts no one reads and platforms no one owns. We have the name for this, silent surrender. And I ask, what are we surrendering? We are surrendering the ability to govern, to protect, to shape our own future on our own terms. Because when decisions that affect our people are made by distant companies, enforced by private algorithms, and adjudicated in foreign courts, we are no longer sovereign. We are digital tenants in a house we do not own. This must not stand. Just as we reclaim our political independence in the last century, we must now assert our digital independence in this one. This means investing in regional infrastructure so our data is stored under our laws. It means regulating foreign digital actors, not to push them out, but to ensure they respect our people, our laws, and our values, and invest in our infrastructure as well. It means building our own platforms so that we are not always the last to know, the last to benefit, the last to matter. And it means uniting as a region, not to complain, but to coordinate, to create a common framework for digital sovereignty that gives the Caribbean a collective voice strong enough to demand respect in the global digital order. Friends, this is not a matter of pride. It is a matter of protection. Because if we do not defend our digital space now, we'll soon find it too compromised to recover. The Caribbean has known colonization before, and we have known the long, hard road to freedom. Let's not walk that road backward in silence through code. Let us instead rise, clear-eyed, united, determined to ensure that no power, no platform, and no private interest undermines the sovereign dignity of our nations again. The greatest disservice we could ever do to the people of the Caribbean, especially to our young people, is to fail to prepare them to meet this moment. That would be our great failure. To offer them promises, but not pathways. To inspire ambition, but not invest in the tools they need to realize it. We cannot afford that failure. Not now, not when the moment demands more. Because our young people are not simply users of technology. They are inventors, designers, and problem solvers. They are full of the ideas and drive that can transform this region, not over decades, but now. But talent without opportunity is a tragedy. And so the question is, will we equip them with what they need to lead? Will we build the regional training centers? Will we reform our school system to teach not just digital literacy, but digital confidence? Will we invest in the kinds of broadband infrastructure and affordable access that allow a young woman in Long Island, that's an island in the Bahamas, or St. Vincent, to compete with anyone, anywhere in the world? And will we create a space, intellectual, economic, and political, where their ideas are heard, nurtured, and funded? This is where CANTO comes in. This organization is more than a convener. It can be a catalyst. CANTO has the capacity to build the bridges between governments and industry, between education and innovation, between today's challenges and tomorrow's opportunities. And I urge you, do not underestimate the role you can play in rewriting this region's future. You can set the standard for infrastructure, for equity, for innovation. You can help create the ecosystem in which our youth do not have to leave to thrive, but stay and build. And together, we can make this region not just a participant in the digital world, but a pioneer. Friends, the Bahamas has, time and again, played an outsized role in shaping history. It was right here in Nassau, nearly 4 decades ago, that the Commonwealth gathered to take a principled stand against apartheid. From that meeting came the Nassau Accord, one of the most decisive steps towards the release of Nelson Mandela. We were a small nation hosting a global gathering, but we showed what can happen when conviction meets courage, when leaders come together, not just to talk, but to act. So let us not underestimate what is possible when thinkers, builders, and believers gather with a shared sense of purpose. Today, we face a new struggle, not one of political imprisonment, but of digital captivity. The question before us is whether we will own our future or simply rent space in someone else. This is why I invite you to support Stephen Bureau as the Caribbean's candidate for Deputy Secretary General of the International Telecommunication Union. Stephen is not just a brilliant regulator or a skilled negotiator. He is a Caribbean son with global vision. He understands what it means to navigate the complexities of small island states in a rapidly digitizing world. He brings the competence, the character, and the clarity of purpose to ensure that our region is not only heard, but taken seriously. Backing Stephen is not merely about representation, it is about responsibility. Because when we place Caribbean leadership in global institutions, we are not just elevating an individual, we are advancing the values, needs, and ambitions of 44 million people across our region. We are saying that the Caribbean will no longer wait for inclusion. We will lead the way in shaping fair rules, stronger protections, and a future that works for us all. And as we reflect on the progress made and the work ahead, let us take a moment to honor a remarkable milestone. CANTO at 40. 40 years of convening, 40 years of connecting, 40 years of helping our region move forward. You have built an institution that has stood the test of time, not by staying still, but by staying relevant. And now as we enter a new digital era, your mission has been more urgent. CANTO, you have the capacity to do what politics alone could not, to unite our islands around common digital standards, common investments, and a shared future. And so, as you mark your 40th year, let this not only be a celebration of the past, but a recommitment to the future. Let this be the moment we say the Caribbean will not drift into the digital world, we will drive it. We will protect our data. We will empower our youth. We will invest in our people. and we will lead, not one day, but today. And when we gather again for your 41st anniversary celebration next year, let us not just raise our glasses. Let us raise our standards, because the future belongs to those who shape it. Congratulations, CANTO. May your next 40 years be even bolder, even more united, and even more committed to the region we all work for and serve. May the work begin here, echo across every island, every community, and every generation still to come. May your deliberations for these next 3 days be fruitful and meaningful. Thank you for listening.
Again, our featured speaker, ladies and gentlemen, the Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, the Honorable Philip Edward Brave Davis. Yes. Prime Minister, thank you for the candor, thank you for your leadership, thank you for your hospitality. Indeed. We are more or less to the end of the formalities. Certainly, we cannot leave without giving thanks. And in that regard, I want to welcome from the CANTO team, one of their directors, Disha Clifford, to move the vote of thanks.
Distinguished guests, colleagues, and friends, I stand on protocols already observed. As we bring this evening's program to a close, it is my honor on behalf of the CANTO Board of Directors and Secretariat to extend our deepest thanks to all those who have contributed to the success of CANTO's 40th Annual Conference and Trade Exhibition. My list is a lengthy one, but I'm sure you'll bear with me, because expressing gratitude, after all, goes far beyond protocol. It is a reflection of the value of the relationships and the partnerships that we rely on. I would like to begin by acknowledging our featured speaker, Prime Minister, the Honorable Philip Davis of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Thank you, sir, for your very powerful remarks. They were very pertinent as well. We are very grateful for your leadership and commitment to regional development and connectivity, and of course, for your kindness in hosting us here in your beautiful country, as my chairman has said. To our keynote speakers, Mr. Brendan Carr, Chairman of the FCC, and Ms. Doreen Bogdan-Martin, Secretary General of the ITU, thank you for lending us your time and your perspectives. Your insights remind us of the power of thoughtful regulation and the value of cross-border collaboration. We are always privileged at CANTO to have several members of government with us, and this year is no different. I would like to especially acknowledge the presence of the Prime Minister of Grenada, the Honorable Deacon Mitchell. Thank you, sir. We are honored to have you with us. A special thank you is also extended to ministers of government from Antigua and Barbuda, Bermuda, Curacao, Cayman Islands, Dominica, Montserrat, St. Martin, St. Kitts and Nevis, Turks and Caicos, and Trinidad and Tobago, as well as the many senior government officials, regulators, and policymakers from across our region. Your presence here sends a clear message that connectivity is not a luxury, but is a national and regional priority. To our speakers and panelists, too numerous to name individually, unfortunately, thank you for bringing your expertise and experience and ideas to the table. Your insights will no doubt inspire robust discussions and, we hope, decisive action. To our exhibitors, through your booths, your demos, and your enthusiastic engagement over the next few days, you will give us a glimpse of what's next, not just in terms of technology, but in terms of partnerships and possibilities. You make innovation tangible, and we thank you for sharing your solutions and your time with us. To the choir who graced our stage tonight, thank you for that powerful display of rhythm and movement and identity. You reminded us that connectivity is not just about spectrum and fiber and frequencies. It's also about culture and community and keeping our stories alive. And to our Master of Ceremonies, Jason J.W. Williams, my fellow Trini, and a true professional, your presence brings both structure and spirit to the program, and we're really glad to have you with us, not just tonight, but throughout the rest of the conference. To the CANTO Secretariat, led by the unstoppable Theresa Wankin. There is really no playbook for what this small team pulls off every year. The logistics, the last-minute pivots, the grace under pressure. It looks effortless from the outside, but we know that the reality is it is built on long hours, on tenacity, on resourcefulness, and sheer willpower. Theresa, you and your team manage to be everywhere and do everything to keep us all going, and you still have time to greet us all by our first names when you see us. We thank you not just for keeping the show going, but for still making it feel like a family and a community, even though we've grown so much. Thank you, Theresa. To our sponsors, I extend CANTO's gratitude and appreciation. Liberty Caribbean, our headline sponsor, thank you. Platinum sponsor, Hawaii. Our gold sponsors, Bankai, Cable Bahamas, Bravo, OneCom, Clear Sky, Digicel, and Digicel Business. Bronze sponsor, TSCT. To our other sponsors, including the Telecommunications Regulatory Commission of the British Virgin Islands, the Internet Society, Telesur, Cerillion, 6D Technologies, the Turks and Caicos Islands Telecommunications Commission, GSME, ICANN, Caribbean Airlines, Class One, Genetec, CSG, Westbury Global, IRCA, SATAR, Broadpeak, Calix, the Mobile Satellite Services Association, One-on-One, iNet, the Guava Group, and TMCell. Thank you. Our special partners, the Government of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, and especially the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the Ministry of Tourism, Investment, and Aviation. Thank you. The I3 Forum, Sinerva, PETA, the Pacific Islands Telecoms Association, and finally, ECOMLAC. We thank you all for playing a vital role in making this event a success. And finally, to you, our delegates. You've traveled from across the region and beyond to be here. And we at CANTO, we do not take that for granted. Your presence affirms that this community matters, that we are stronger when we gather, that we still believe in regional solutions for regional challenges. As we open this year's conference, let's be honest with each other. The road ahead is not simple. The Caribbean telecommunications sector is evolving in real time with both immense opportunity and significant complexity. We're navigating regulatory frameworks that were designed for a different era, which now require careful modernization to keep pace with emerging service models and technologies, changing traffic patterns and user expectations. And of course, the broader pressures facing all operators, including rising infrastructure costs, shifting revenue models, and the critical need to bridge the digital divide. These are not insurmountable challenges, but they do require us to be resolute, proactive, and most of all, united. While we may represent different companies, countries, and even different interests, we are all here not just because we believe in the transformative power of connectivity. We are here because we believe in the potential of the Caribbean, this region that we call our home. And we believe that the future of our home should be shaped by our collective vision and not by external people, entities, or circumstances. So to use a word used by the Honorable Prime Minister, let's let this week be more than networking and meetings. Those are important too, but let's let this conference be a catalyst for sharper focus, for bolder thinking, and for coordinated, decisive action. Let it be a reminder that we may be many nations, but together we are mighty and we are unstoppable. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank each and every one of you for being here, and I look forward to the work that we'll do together over the next few days. Thank you.
Director Disha Clifford, thank you so much for your amazing and profound words as we again just give thanks. Just take a moment, ladies and gentlemen, look around the room, look at the person next to you and understand that we are in a room with some of the best and brightest of the region, innovators, people who are going to shift and move policies so that it can impact the millions across the length and breadth of this beautiful space in the world we call the Caribbean. We more or less come to the end of the formal part of the proceedings. Of course, we will have now a very important moment, a photo op. You know, as they say, the young people say, if they don't have a picture, it didn't happen, right? So we need to do that photo op. And we're going to call on, of course, our prime ministers. I want to let the delegation know this is where you figure out if it's your left side or your right side, your good side for this picture, because this is indeed a very important photo op moment. And let me again call on the Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of Bahamas to join us for this photo opportunity. We'll do the pictures, yes, we're going to bring it. So we're going to call on the Prime Minister, the Honorable Philip Davis, to join us. Also the Deputy Prime Minister, Chester Cooper. We call also on the Prime Minister of Grenada, the Honorable Dickon Mitchell. And we call also on the Chairman of CANTO, Dr. Newman, for this photo op. So we just do this picture first with the dignitaries, and then we'll call on some of our featured speakers to join them. And here is where I will exit stage left, ease out of the picture here. Okay, so let's bring the other dignitaries in with us. Mrs. Theresa Wankin, Liberty Caribbean CEO Inga Smidts, FCC Chairman Mr. Carr, and of course our keynote speaker, Mrs.